Hello friends, Guten Tag. Hello. This is Suzi Perez with Vinmaps and welcome to Vinmaps Studio, where we explore, taste, and enjoy wines from around the world. Well, if you're interested in learning more about German Sekt wines, you're in the right place. We'll be looking at German wines from a high level and then honing in on tasting these three beautiful Sekt wines here. Starting with on the left, we have Lucen Brothers, Dr. Lucen, Dr. L, Sparkling Riesling NV. And then next we have Hild, Elbling Sekt, Brut NV. And then lastly, but not least, we have the Bernhard 2015 Riesling Sekt. So Germany has over 250,000 acres of vineyards. The country's total wine production reaches about 9 million hectoliters per year. So this translates to roughly 1.2 billion bottles per year. And year to year, Germany will always be within the top 10 wine producing countries worldwide. Until the 20th century, however, France and Germany were considered the only two great wine producing countries. So the landscape has changed quite a bit since then. 2/3 of Germany's wine production is dedicated to white wines, such as the queen of all white wines in Germany, Riesling, of course, but they also have other varieties such as Sylvaner, Müller, Thurgau, and also Grauburgunder, aka Pinot Gris, and many others. The remaining third of the wine produced here is dedicated to red wines, such as the Spätburgunder, aka Pinot Noir. German wines are among the highest in acidity, which acts to preserve the flavor. And if a wine happens to be slightly sweet as well, this can add to its potential longevity. In fact, German wines are among the longest lived wines in the world. Wines from Germany's 13 regions are mainly produced in the western part of the country. Vineyards here lie at 49 to 51 degrees latitude north. This is the northernmost extent of where grapes can reliably grow. And some of these are very steep slopes, such as 70%, so it's pretty incredible. Due to the high latitude and more extreme temperatures, vineyards here are some, if not the most precisely sited in the world. The best vineyards you can expect to be planted, of course, on the southwest or east facing slopes toward that equator to catch the light and heat of the sun, get that photosynthesis going. And also in river valleys such as the Moselle, Rhine, heat retaining soils and rocks, as well as the rivers and tributaries all have a moderating effect on the temperature, which helps to keep those vines happy and growing at a long, steady pace. Winemakers here strive to make wines that truly reflect the flavors from the grape variety and the vineyard. So what is Sekt? All sparkling wine in Germany is considered or called Sekt. That is Sekt with the Z sound, not the S sound, not Sekt. It's Sekt. Most Sekt is light, clean, and uncomplicated, and is made in their charmat method, or with that secondary fermentation that causes those bubbles to happen in large pressurized tanks. A small amount of Sekt, however, is much higher quality, and there you'll see secondary fermentation occurring with these. So more that méthode champenoise, traditional method. So what do we look for when we're looking to buy a Sekt wine? Well, you want to maybe be aware of just a few terms to look for on the bottle label. First one is Deutscher Sekt, and this, as it sounds, must be made from German base wine. So this also indicates that perhaps not all Sekt is made from German wines. So yes, it's true, they can pull from other European countries if so desired. So this is telling you on the label Deutsche Sekt that all the wines within that bottle are German based. Also, this can be made in the tank, minimum 90 days on yeast, 30 of those through continuous mixing. It can also be made in the traditional bottle fermentation style, minimum 9 months on the lees. And the lees meaning the dead yeast cells, which give that biscuit, bread dough, cheese, secondary aromas and flavors. Next, we would look for the Deutsche Sekt BA. Our bottle here, the Bernhard, happens to have that designation on the label. And this includes everything in the Deutsche Sekt from above, and also includes regulations or requirements such as a minimum of 85% of the grapes must be sourced from one of Germany's 13 wine regions, so not all spread out in Germany or from other countries. And then we have Winzer Sekt, and this must be made in traditional bottle fermentation with a minimum of 9 months on the lees, and most winemakers actually far exceed that length of time. This must also include 100% estate-grown fruit. The label must also state the grape variety and the vintage. Bottlings for this may be based on Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Meunier, sounds like the triple threat of Champagne. Also, though, Muscateller and or Traminer. The Riesling shows particular popularity at this time. So again, the wines we're tasting are the Lucen brothers, the Hild, and the Bernhard. And so let's just pop open the Lucen and see what we've got here. Whew. All right. Oh, I can already smell. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Grab one of our glasses here. I'm going to pour just a little bit more. I'll put a stopper on it after we're done tasting. Lovely label there. Beautiful gold lemon color. Gorgeous persistent bubbles. Just get that aromatic. I'm getting light, crisp lemon acidity. Getting very light tones of pale stone fruits. Perhaps even a little bit of tinge of peach. Nectarine, definitely the lemon. Refreshing, crisp. Quite delicious. Quite delicious. Not that I'm surprised. Okay, so these wines, the Dr. Lucen, this wine sources from the Moselle region, which is the far west of Germany. Within the Moselle Valley, steep south-facing slopes and slate soils. So just like we were talking about just a minute ago, the rivers and the soils can capture the heat. And then at night, this can be reflected back up into the vineyards, which just contributes to long, slow development of flavors in those grapes, which is what you want. Ernst Lucen is the owner of Lucen Brothers Winemaking Company, as well as the owner of Dr. Lucen Estate, which is managed by his brother Thomas. And the brothers work carefully with small growers throughout the Moselle. Strict quality standards are upheld for healthy, perfectly ripe fruit, which is what they're striving for. So this is 100% Riesling, alcohol ABV 12%. And this was made using the charmat method, so secondary fermentation in those large pressurized tanks I was mentioning. And with this, you kind of get, with this kind of producer who is so painstaking about the process, you're really getting the best of both worlds. It tastes incredible. And so you're getting very high quality viticulture as well as highly skilled cellar teams producing these wines. And then add in the charmat method, and you're going to find that these are extremely high quality, affordable, and accessible wines. So cheers, Dr. Lucen. Gorgeous. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to step away for a moment and just put that stopper on there. These stoppers are great because if you don't want to drink a whole bottle of Sekt or other bubbly in one sitting, you don't have to. Just put one of these on, stick it back in the fridge, and it'll stay fizzy and bubbly for several days. Okay, next we have the Hild Elbling Sekt Brut Moselle and V. And this is sourced from vineyards in the Ober Moselle or Upper Moselle, which turns out is quite a bit different than the Lower Moselle. The Upper Moselle is within the geographical formation of the Paris Basin. So instead of slate underlying the vineyards, we have limestone and chalk, actually. That's pretty cool. There we go. Yeah, it was really tightly wrapped and still don't have it totally. I'm right there. Okay. Where are you, my flute? So I am very interested in this one. I'm interested in all of them, but I've actually not heard of the Elbling grape variety, and it's fascinating. Okay. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's displaying that it's a very gold color, lemon to gold. Whew. Okay, so the winemaking culture here in the Upper Moselle is very dedicated to this wine grape variety, the Elbling, which is one of Europe's oldest grapes, as it turns out. So we are not really in Riesling territory here. In fact, in further notes here I have about this, this grape variety is closely related to Riesling and Chardonnay. It's hardy and can flourish under conditions most varieties would never ripen in. So they're in Upper Moselle. This has high acidity and low alcohol, perfect grape to use as a base for sparkling wines. And presence in Germany and surrounding countries stretches back hundreds, if not thousands of years. So this is very interesting to taste this. Vines for this particular Sekt are within 4 kilometers of the cellar, partially hand-picked. Matthias Hild is the winemaker, and these wines are distributed through Von Boden. The Elbling Sekt goes through a 21-day cold fermentation in stainless steel, then through malolactic fermentation before bottling and secondary fermentation. The Sekt is then stored on its lees for 9 to 18 months before disgorgement. So we're talking traditional method here, obviously. Let's try it. Definitely getting more complexity of flavor here than the Dr. Lucen, but you would expect that being traditional method, and with that fermentation. And the malolactic fermentation actually can yield flavors of butter, cream, and cheese, and it can also lower the acidity as well. Wow. Definitely high acid. I'm not saying that it's higher than this one, but definitely high acid. Definitely getting more of a slight cream there and more tropical fruits. And definitely getting more of that chalky sense there. And if you look at the colors, so this was the Lucin, and here's the Hild. You can see, I don't know if you can see from there, but this one's quite a bit more dark in color. I'll just leave this one out actually. Oh, that's beautiful. So this is 12.5 ABV, and there's definitely a bit of chalky acidity going on in a lot of tropical fruit. Lychee. Mango. Very good. Go Elbling. Okay, finally, not leastly though, we have the beautiful Bernhard Sekt 2015, and this is Riesling, as I say. And this one sources from the best locations within the Rheinhessen on the southern edge of the Nye. Supposedly the Romans grew figs, almonds, chestnuts, and above all wine here as early as 1800 years ago. So that's pretty interesting. And this region, the Rheinhessen, southern edge of the Nye, is actually a more mild, sunny, rain-free climate apparently, with biodiversity of the soils. And this we will open. All right. Okay. Put you there. And pour away. Beautiful lemony gold color I'm seeing here. Couldn't find as much on their website and other places, but it looks like a very old wine house. This is from the Bernhard family, Armut and Petra Bernhard leading the charge. Again, best locations within the Rheinhessen. And this is traditional method sparkling, and this one does have that Deutsche Sekt BA Rheinhessen on the bottle. Clearly stated. This is considered a high quality vintage sparkling wine, and this was handcrafted in the winery itself from its own wines using the classic method, as I mentioned. Alcohol ABV 12%. So they do everything here for this wine is done within the winery itself, or within the estate. So it's all estate grown fruit. And they do a lot of the hand riddling at this particular estate as well. Beautiful color, beautiful gold color. Okay, so others might argue with the point, but definitely getting lemon and a little bit of tropical fruit. But you know what? I'm also getting just a smidge of petrol, which is really cool. Okay. Yep, definitely getting petrol in the flavor profile as well. Tropical fruit, lemon, acidity is beautiful. And look how gorgeous that is. Persistent bubbles, fine bubbles. Oh, lovely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed. That brings us to the conclusion of our tasting here. I hope you all have enjoyed this little tour into Sekt land, if you will. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back and see us again next time. And cheers, Prost, tschüss, and schönen Tag noch. Hope I said that okay.